Hey everybody, John King with Summit Funding, and you have been listening to me talk for months about inflation being the number one problem for mortgage rates. Well, guess what? I think the inflation issue might just be behind us. Here's what happened. Thursday morning, we had the inflation report come out. So first, the inflation report for October, even though we're in November, and that report showed that inflation was lower than what was projected and lower than last year. Now, if you've been watching my videos at all for the last 6 months, you've actually heard me talk a couple of times about how I think this fall, October, November, is going to be the peak of inflation. No, I'm not predicting the future perfectly. There's actually a mathematical equation to it, and it has to do with how much we're increasing over last year and how big each month increased. And without getting into all the math, what I'll tell you is things are playing out exactly as I expected. And here's the big win. Mortgage rates fell by about 0.5% on Thursday. Now they've been rising. So it's not like they're down significantly compared to the increase we've been seeing over the last month or 6 months or a year, but it's a move in the right direction. Here's my worry. My worry is, what is the Federal Reserve going to say about this? Now, I think there's two things we have to pay attention to. We have to pay attention to the facts and we have to pay attention to the story, and they both matter. The facts are that inflation is starting to come back down. And I believe the facts are going to play out that the Federal Reserve is not going to have to raise interest rates as much as they have been. And therefore, we're going to see interest rates come down. I think we're going to see interest rates likely below 5% for mortgages sometime in the next 12 to 18 months. And there's an argument it might happen sooner. But here's what I'll tell you. The story the Fed says is the bigger thing that concerns me, especially in the short term. If we rewind back to this summer, in June, the Fed kind of gave some indications that, hey, we might not be in as bad a shape as we thought we were going to be. And the market responded really well, and interest rates fell, and the stock market took off, which is exactly what happened yesterday. But the Fed started saying in July, hey, wait a second, guys, I think you're getting a little ahead of yourselves. This inflation thing isn't under control. Now, the Fed needs to make sure that to control inflation, people continue to act like inflation is still a problem. Because as soon as people think inflation is not a problem, they're going to go spend money like drunken sailors. Why? Because there's more cash in people's savings accounts than there's ever been in history. The statistics show that the average American family has more in savings than they've ever had, and that money is just sitting there burning a hole in people's pockets. And so the facts say inflation is under control and that the Fed should stop significantly increasing interest rates. Now, there's a real big difference between when the Fed is raising rates versus them stopping the increase versus them lowering interest rates. So do we have the inflation issue behind us? I think there's an argument to say yes, but the Fed's not going to admit it because they don't want us to start acting like inflation is completely under control and end up blowing the entire issue out of the water and causing greater inflation because we start spending money like it's no big deal. So I'm worried about the rubber band effect. We see interest rates drop and they bounce right back up. And that's what happened in June, July, and August of this year. And I'm concerned about that. But if you're looking to buy a home, now is a really good time to take advantage of the opportunity, especially before we hit the spring selling season. Right now, people don't want to buy in the wintertime. People are concerned about Christmas and moving during the holidays. And so this is an amazing opportunity. And this recent information about inflation gives you that much more of an opportunity to make this the time that you purchase a home. Thanks for listening. Hope you have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon. Happy Veterans Day. Thank you. Bye-bye.